precision nor pretty. Looked like someone had worked a knife back and forth to get that crazy, wandering slice in the mule's hide. That's when it hit him. Scratch stumbled over to the packs again and tore them apart. Damned sure, he grumbled, mad at himself as he found it. He hadn't packed that bundle too well days back, and the knife he had taken off that Blackfoot brave had worked down through the baggage until it started to ride into old Hannah's hide. Glory! This Blackfeet sticker rode down on you and run in and out of you every time you bucked, he mumbled, looking over at the mule. He slipped the knife into his scabbardless belt, pushed himself up on one leg, and hopped over to her side once more. Here I thought you was jest gettin' olt and touchy, lady, he soothed, stroking her around the bleeding gash to get her used to the feel of his hands around the tender wound. Scratch balled up his cheeks to collect all the saliva he could. He removed the chaw of tobacco with 2 fingers, some of the brown, syrupy juice running down his lower lip and onto his gray-flecked whiskers. Tenderly, lovingly, the old man worked it into the open wound, chattering all the time to the old mule, coaxing her into letting him probe and push around in the torn flesh. She raised her head, cocking it back toward where he stood, looking over her shoulder at him, as if inspecting the surgery. Ain't a soul as can say you ain't got some more miles in you, Hannah, he cooed at her, keeping one hand on the wound while the other reached up to take the beaver pelt hat from his head, underneath which was a faded blue bandana tied tightly at the base of his skull. His long hair, here and there showing patches of gray, fluttered easily in the early morning breeze. Scratch put the beaver fur over the wound and held it in place for a moment before both hands began cutting the fur bandage down to size. Hannah looked away from his doctoring and went back to chewing. I'll take care of you. Ain't gonna be me as gets rid of you, yet anyhows. We got a few more tracks to go, we does, he added, plopping back down on the ground right beside her. Scratch cradled his rifle across his lap, looked up at his mule, and felt suddenly very old, looking back across all those years, all those faces, all the fights, and all the lonesome a man could want. It's been a golden kind of lonesome, old Hannah. He pulled the moccasin from the swollen foot, tugging and yanking to free it over the swollen instep. Hope it ain't broke, gal. We'd be Injun bait for sure then. That'd be damp powder, it would, and no ways to dry it for this coon. The man was only around 38 years old. He didn't remember exactly, but he knew he had been in the mountains close to 8 years. Up in the high country, a man was judged to be old if he had passed that many winters by and kept his scalp, or his sanity. Up here, a man's age was figured by how much he had seen or done, rather than by the passage of years. Scratch pulled what was left of the beaver fur over to him and wrapped it around the foot. Pulling the big Blackfoot knife from his belt, he looked momentarily at the blade neatly engraved with the initials H.B. Co. enclosed between 2 small antlered deer, and went to work cutting fringe off his leggings. Tying the cut fringe end to end, he soon had a long lace, which he used to wrap around and around the fur, holding it securely in place, and finally tied it up around the ankle in a knot. First time I'd seed that foot in close to a year. Ugly, ain't it, lady? He stuck it up in the air and wiggled his toes toward the mule, which paid him no mind. Maybe it's not broke. Maybe not, he thought. It was still early morning, and the sun was just beginning to creep down off the tops of the trees to warm the ground and his tired body. He hadn't slept well for the past couple of nights, dozing fitfully, half awake, with his eyes closed but his ears perked up to every sound the night breeze brought to him. Scratch had been a few days out of Park Kayak and was now closing in on Crow country. The Crow prided themselves in never having taken a white man's scalp, but them Crow can sure strip a man naked of pony and possibles faster'n I care to blink, Scratch had